Thank you very much. All right, so now we're going to go to the question phase. This first question will be for Ms. Raybould. What state programs should receive either more financial or legislative support?
So during this last legislative session, as many of you know, we had a surplus, and a significant portion of that surplus went towards building out our infrastructure. In particular, we've made what I think of as a down payment on upgrading our water systems and recharging our aquifer in the form of $50 million that went towards the Idaho Water Resource Department for future projects. Those funds are going to ensure that we continue to have a sustainable and secure source of water for our state. The last thing we want is any other state to come in and attempt to take water that belongs in Idaho and use it for their own purposes. I would say also that we need to be looking at the concept around deferred maintenance. As part of the budget also, there was $94 million that were passed to help with that deferred maintenance. Deferred maintenance is deficit spending. And so we need to be looking at how well we're maintaining our infrastructure and everything from water treatment to public drinking water systems. We have this structure in place that we've invested all of these dollars and all of this time, and I would hate for those things to essentially fall into disrepair because we haven't invested enough funds to ensure that they continue to support our communities. It's a particular concern in communities where we see significant growth. Have we expanded those systems in order to accommodate that growth? Have we expanded our roadways to ensure that we have traffic flowing smoothly? As anyone knows, when you come into town at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, traffic can be backed up clear down 2nd East. And there's no end in sight in terms of being able to alleviate that unless we make those investments. So in terms of adding additional dollars into the system, that's where I think we need to go, is to ensure that we have built out to be able to accommodate the services that we depend on, and at the same time have it continue to be a place that we feel like we can live and enjoy, and it doesn't become a distraction or a detraction from the amazing new families that have come into our community and the new businesses that have started, that we continue to support that growth and do so in a sustainable way.
Thank you. So Representative Nate, same question. What state programs should receive more financial or legislative support?
Thank you. We went into the last legislative session with a $1.9 billion surplus. My first instinct when we see that kind of surplus money, which is your tax dollars that are being collected by the state, is to return it to the taxpayer as much as possible. Unfortunately, our legislature was only able to return about $400 million this year and then $200 million ongoing in tax relief. The other $1.3 billion was spent up by government. So asking what do we need to spend more money on when government grew by 21% this year in Idaho is a tough one for me to wrap my head around, especially when you look at all the budgets and you saw the growth there. But there is an area where we agree in this race, and that is infrastructure. Absolutely, if we have the opportunity to strengthen our infrastructure, to make it be adequate for what we need, to do necessary repairs and maintenance on it, then that's something we ought to be doing. If there is that much money flowing around, maybe we ought to look at the opportunity to maybe build a dam or two instead of following our good congressman's recommendation to tear down 4 lower Snake River dams. I would never want to do that or support that. My opponent unfortunately supports that. But we do have other water infrastructure opportunities we have to make sure that we have the water that we need, the farmers have the water they need, and that we can make this a prosperous place to live and grow.